First of all, I want to thank the Swiss Society of Virtual and Augmented Reality to invite me here today to have this talk. I think it's really exciting that yes, such a day is organized. Of course, it's a Swiss initiative, but a lot of international speakers are speaking here today. And also the topic I think is super relevant, discussing collaboration, online learning, conferences, and remote working. So without further ado, I will just jump in. And again, there will be a little bit of time at the end for questions. So definitely don't hesitate to take down your questions already. So some of you might know me already because in the industry, I've been quite active since 2016. I'm primarily focused on LucidWeb, which is my own startup. But at the same time, in 2016, I felt quite isolated, falling in love with virtual reality, female entrepreneur. I'm based in Belgium. So I set up a Facebook group to connect with like-minded women and minorities across Europe. And this Facebook group has evolved into a true nonprofit with local ambassadors, 3 other co-founders, and also recently we announced at AWE in US that we have found our first strategic partner in Facebook. So we're definitely going to continue pushing and connecting women and minorities in this industry across Europe and also beyond. And then last but not least, I'm also a knowledge manager of XR for All. XR for All is an initiative of the European Commission. There are different consortium partners. My role there is to focus on communication and dissemination, community building, but as well making sure that there's enough diversity part of this project. So the project runs until next year. It's all about connecting, empowering entrepreneurs in XR in Europe. There's an open call, so I definitely would advise you to go to the website where you can have a grant of 50K for your own MVP in XR. There's a cutoff date at the end of June, but there's another one at the end of December. So a bit more about me. So I started my career with Accenture. Then I actually joined a social media startup in Belgium. Then I went to London to focus for 4 years on online video distribution. Came back to Belgium to become CEO of a tech publication. You might know it, tech.eu. And then, like I just mentioned, I fell in love with VR and I was like, okay, this is definitely the area that I want to focus on the next 10 years. So I started LucidWeb and then have been supported by angel investors, accelerator programs. And yes, excited about what's ahead for the company post 2020, post this very strange, but also at the same time, amazing year for XR. So the technology that LucidWeb is focused on is webXR. So I'm quite happy as well to see that in the lineup of today, Alexandra Hussino is following this afternoon. Me and her, we have a lot of things in common, but I think the biggest thing that we have in common is that we truly believe both in the power of the web or the power of the browser to democratize VR and AR storytelling. So webXR is a combination and is basically focused on both domains, VR and AR. For the presentation of today, I'm mostly going to focus on web VR. Then again, we did do some interesting projects already in augmented reality via the web, and we continue to do so this year. We have a very exciting project lined up with the European Commission, a project for the European Commission where we're going to focus on augmenting the European Open Science Cloud will be available this year. And again, for this presentation, I want to focus a bit more on 360 video and VR via the web. So basically, the webXR code is not something that LucidWeb invented. It's an open source code, and it basically started already in 1994 when the first 3D model was made available in the browser, on a desktop browser, and at that point was coined the cyber banana. It's actually driven by 2 pioneers of the virtual reality on the web, Mark Pesce and Tony Parisi. So this code basically evolved over the years, and from the desktop, then all also in 2011, the browser could support 3D on the mobile. And the first time it was rendered in a headset browser, it was in 2014. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on how this code, this open source code has evolved, but I think it's important to know that only by the end of 2017, going into 2018, the consortium, the W3C, powering this open standard, decided to add augmented reality to the same code. So therefore, WebVR went into webXR. So we're not the only company, of course, truly believing in this democratization via the browser. There are many big names, like you see, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Samsung, Mozilla. They're all very convinced that a browser-based augmented reality and virtual reality should be a fact. It decreases the number of steps towards the experience. So, of course, Google has been quite the leader. I think they had many initiatives in this space, but also Mozilla. I think they now really, yes, definitely focusing on more the social VR via the web, but as well Magic Leap, for example, their browser is web VR supported. It's called Helio. Microsoft has their Microsoft Edge support in all the mixed reality headsets, which works quite well. So it's truly a common initiative across the different big names in the software industry. So the product that we have developed is called LucidWeb Pro. It's a white label distribution platform for immersive media. We went from closed beta to open beta last year, and now we're looking at commercializing it soon. So it's a tool that allows publishers or employers to really work edit and upload, edit and distribute virtual reality content via the browser. So it's focused on non-technical stuff. It's really an easy drag and drop interface where the outcome or the output is one URL, and that works on 3 different devices. So this is really key. It's very easy for the publisher to publish the content, but it's also at the same time very easy for the consumer to just click a link and bam, you're into the experience. So we really believe that this is one of the main drivers for consumer, but also employers and employees to have an easier access to an experience. So like I just mentioned, we went into closed beta in September, and we launched the platform at the Venice XR VR Biennale, where we had a couple of interesting international press related to the release. So these are a bit of the articles that appeared. So from this original closed beta, we had a lot of signups on the platform, and those people basically helped us to fine-tune what should be possible or what should be available in the next rollout, which was in December. At the same time, we also have done some interesting projects with broadcasters across Europe or online publishers. The first one that I think is really important to confirm is the largest public broadcaster in Europe. It's Arte. So they basically approached us because one of their experiences, called Sans, had a limited reach via the application-based approach. So with them, we worked in a kind of R&D contract to see how easily we could transform these assets, which were basically Unity-based, to a completely web-based experience. So this then eventually worked, and we published it also in September last year. And here the slide just clarifies a bit in how yes, the journey towards the content is truly simplified. I also included a video, but I'm not sure if the sound, let me just check for the sound. Yes. See my presentation?
I see some kind of clouds.
Yes. So this?
Yes, okay. I have a sound.
And the sound as well?
Yeah, perfect.
So yes, here we demonstrated easy access. So one URL, 3 platforms. We mostly focus on Oculus Go and Oculus Quest just because of the ease of access, and that really coincides with our vision. Everything should be easy, comfortable. We should reduce the discomfort that people have and by stepping out of their comfort zone. The next one I briefly want to highlight is a German experience that we developed together with Into VR. It's a Berlin-based studio that has been focused on VR for journalism, but also other experiences for a while. And together with them, based upon their production, basically, we pulled together a very interactive travel experience to Cuba. What is key in what we have developed is an interactive map that allows real-time decision-making. So we found out via consumer testing that if you put 4 hotspots in each video scene, that people will click through, of course, to the next scene, but at some point they feel a bit lost, like literally lost in a 360 environment. So we thought it would be good to include this kind of map so they can still understand where they are on the island of Cuba. I think what is key to what we do is that the experience is available in the headset. So a lot of people don't know what I mean with browser in a headset. So therefore we did this Oculus recording of this experience. So when you load the URL into the browser of the Oculus Quest, I have to confirm that the Oculus Quest recording doesn't include sound. So normally if you would have this experience in the headset, you will hear a German voiceover saying, "Welcome to Cuba." You will see 4 hotspots in the air. So select one if you want to go to the next scene. And you see what we have integrated. So now you're in the headset and the 3D mode headset. You basically see that we have integrated this map, and this again works with the controllers. So for everything, for every experience that we publish, the interactivity will be optimized towards the platform streaming the content. So in this case, in the headset, you use the controllers. On the phone, you use touch for interactivity, and on desktop, of course, you use the mouse or your touchpad. So what I wanted to highlight today is basically a bit the shift that happened in our, in the reactive sales basically that came in. So during COVID or after COVID, I'm not sure if we can already say after COVID, but at least I'm in the office since a week. So I do believe that there's a little bit of change coming. But this slides basically highlight a bit the evolution of the industry. I think there was a true hype in 2016 and 2017. This overhype basically resulted into a kind of a disappointment in 2018. But then I truly felt with platforms like Snapchat, including their AR filters, Facebook confirming that they were selling out on Quests, but also a lot of companies acquiring VR and AR companies or startups, there was a newfound optimism in the industry. And then of course, this dreadful global pandemic happened in so many countries. The shift to online was significant, and this translated in, for example, the number of connected headsets on Steam that you see as of end of March and April. There's a huge peak, but as well the games had an explosion, and as well a lot of articles were covering the fact that COVID could push XR to the next level. What happened with us? So like I've shown before COVID, we were mostly focused on helping broadcasters to reach a larger audience. It was journalism, it was travel, cinematic, like in the case of Arte, a truly niche IP of transforming a novel into a WebVR experience. But then COVID happened, and all of a sudden, a lot of agencies were reaching out to us and saying, okay, we want to do a 360 video in VR with touch points, portals. We want to have a virtual showroom. We want to have a digital twin. We want to do a virtual visit. So the good thing about the technology stack that we have built is that we're basically middleware, and it's the client defining what they will do with the code. So we could easily shift towards these new requests. So from now on, and definitely for the following months, we will be focused on these new use cases. And to come back to the question of Constantin, to the previous speaker, I truly believe that although things might get back surprisingly early to the old normal, I truly believe that companies need to work on the impact of such a pandemic, on reducing the impact such a pandemic has on companies. Like I think about Japan and the fact that they know there's going to be an earthquake at some point, so they need to showcase to their management, okay, we have put this and this and this software in place, or new rules in place to make sure that that the resilience is higher towards a new crisis. So therefore, I truly think that maybe now companies are still like recovering from the impact, but I truly think that it's only healthy for these IT managers to propose new solutions. So in the case it happens again, the resilience is higher. So like I mentioned, our platform will focus on making this editing and distribution of more enterprise content more accessible. So it's very expensive if you look at applications. If you have to build an application for each of these 3 platforms, it takes a lot of time. There's also uploading to the stores, there's a maintenance. So with our platform, these use cases of employee training, onboarding, virtual visits, and digital twins will be a lot less expensive. We already did some collaborations in the space before. For example, on the level of virtual visits and digital twins, we collaborated with a show on the Belgian broadcaster that was related to truly unique architectural houses in Belgium. And we made the virtual visits, or made it possible for a lot of people to visit these architectural art pieces almost more accessible. The case I wanted to highlight today is the university, is the case that we collaborated with the Nantes University Hospital. It's really a learning experience where we worked together with a studio in Paris called Pixhize. So they went and did the recording, but the technology is built by us. It's an experience targeting the doctors and nurses to better understand, with a very rare operation happening, who are the people in the room, what should we do, what's the atmosphere, what are the machines in the room. To confirm again, we're focused on making these experiences available on 3 devices via 1 URL. So I included a recording on desktop.
Vous êtes dans une salle d'opération du Centre hospitalier universitaire de Nantes. Ici, nous mettons en œuvre un traitement innovant des anévrismes de l'aorte. Grâce aux technologies réunies dans cette salle, nous traitons cette pathologie entièrement de l'intérieur, sans avoir à effectuer d'incision cutanée. Pour cela, le matériel est miniaturisé et va être introduit à travers la peau. Cette opération requiert l'intervention de soignants spécialisés. Je vous invite à faire connaissance avec eux. Regardez autour de vous. Ils sont signalés par une croix. Si vous avez revêtu un masque de réalité virtuelle, activez-les en pointant votre regard sur elles pour obtenir plus d'informations. Sinon, il vous suffit de cliquer sur les différents points d'intérêt de la salle.
So this is the desktop version again. So you have your touchpad or you have your mouse. And then I also included again the Oculus Go version. So Oculus Quest, Oculus Go, mixed reality headsets, they're all powered by a browser that supports WebVR and WebAR. So you can also just use the same URL. The URL will identify the device that is streaming the content and will showcase then the content according to the device. So here again, you will see the same experience, and you will see that you have to go from 2D to 3D by clicking the VR goggles icon in the lower right corner. Again, this is a recording on the Oculus Go, so you don't hear the voiceover that you just heard, but it, of course, in the headsets, you do hear this. So when you type in the URL, then you will see the experience loading in 2D, which is already okay. You can look around, but of course that's not the objective when you're in a headset. You have to click the VR goggles icon. So now we click the VR goggles icon, and you immediately see that the vision, the field of view goes to 360. You also see that the remote control is identified. And then in a second, these hotspots will appear. And then you have again the opportunity to see who are the people in the room, what is the material used in the room. So truly easy to upload content in the platform, edit. So these are the annotations that you can add to the content, and click publish. And all of a sudden your experience is available on 3 platforms. To conclude, I see that my time is running up. So to conclude, what is key for us though, and I think also key to where the industry is today, is that we bring technology. But of course, in the case of the hospitals or in the case of the virtual visits, there still needs to be a professional going in and making a recording of the space. So we believe it's not our key USP, but there are so many strong content creation partners in Europe already there. So we kind of set up collaborations with a couple of these studios across Europe to facilitate the accessibility of these experiences to the client. So in the Netherlands, we teamed up with We Make VR, in Belgium with Yonder, in Berlin, like I just mentioned, Into VR. In France, we're working together with Maud Clavier. I guess also a lot of people know her already quite well. And then in Austria with VRish. So this is a bit the strategy that we're taking to also be much more and easily available in those markets. So yes, if you're interested, please reach out to me if you have questions. So leen@lucidweb.io, follow me on Twitter. Or of course, if you're interested in technology itself, just sign up on lucidweb.pro. There's a trial account active that showcases already the vision and the features that are available today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leen. Awesome, really excellent talk. As you know, we are also running this conference via web-powered VR.
True, I didn't
Learn Bright.
Yeah, yes.
And as app developer, I was a bit, let's say, skeptical, but I was amazed so easy for the user is to access web browser experience comparing to app. However, the quality is lower. So my question is, what do you think? Is there a margin to improve the quality of the web-based experience compared to app-based experience?
Yes, it's a good question, and it's also a question that I heard mostly a couple of years ago. But I truly believe that with the browsers, increasingly focusing on webXR and also doing continuously press releases about the fact that they are supporting the next version. I truly believe that the tech stack has evolved though. So I do believe there's already a big difference with browser-based experiences in 2017. Us from our side as well, we have shifted a bit the technology stack to make sure that the consumer experience is higher, that it's more stable. But yes, I think that the best evolution on that side that will definitely help to even accelerate that move is 5G. So the moment that 5G will be a reality in European countries, I think webXR will truly benefit from it in many use cases. So of course, the employer and the enterprise use cases, but of course as well travel and more like media use cases.